Okay, I'm doing another video, and so here I am in Minneapolis, in a suburb, but not terribly far from North Minneapolis, from central Minneapolis. This is an older suburb. And I came back here without a car, which has been a blessing because my job is working for food delivery, and I haven't had a car to do that, which is just as well here because, without a car, I have gotten harassed by, I get harassed so badly here by officers, but without, without a car getting harassed anyway is just unreal. So I was at a friend's place in Brooklyn Park. He's a man who, he has some health issues, and I was helping him like he needed to wrap his legs and stuff, but he has a nurse, but I was doing that for. Then I was helping him. He had cats that were messing up the place. I was cleaning up after them. He had laundry he hadn't done for a really long time. I did some cooking, baking, and was just trying to help him. He had helped me earlier, so I was trying to help him now. He had someone living there, a felon living there, who was just really mooching off him and not doing anything, things that he needed doing. So, and I kept hearing that he wanted to get rid of her. So anyway, I was staying there when the cat was starting to have kittens again. It was just a disaster. A cat that wasn't neutered, and it was staying there, and this felon lady showed up like towards midnight, and her having shown up, and I was telling him, you've got to tell her, just wait until tomorrow. I'll be gone tomorrow. But I was already like getting ready for bed and everything, and it was late, and well, he didn't want to do that. And so now then she threatened to call the cops. So then I called them. I called 911. But before I even hung up with them, someone was there. So she had to have called them, but I only noticed her texting. I didn't hear her calling and talking. I noticed her just text somebody. She's a felon, right? So they show up, and what happens is they end up making it because this friend who is a very confused person who suddenly turned on me. And even though I tried to get him to tell them yes, he wanted her to get out of there, and I was helping him, it ended up that they got him to have them make a no trespass against me. And these guys that came there, they so helped to turn it into a disaster like that. And then you wonder how did they get called there? By this felon? By texting. So then, not only that, just try to give you a picture of what's going on here in this area, because you already have some idea. So then I was now at summertime. I went out to camp at a town west of here, and as a matter of fact, so we just had a news thing turn up in a town near there, New Auburn, where a guy got shot by these same people there, and it was uncalled for. It was unauthorized or whatever. and he was killed. So I was out there camping, and the campground, the people who had run it, the lady had just died, and I didn't know she just died. So without her there, the people running it, they just picked up my tent and dumped it at the entrance. I had set down my tent because she had a policy of how you could set up your tent, and then you could get in touch with her like the next day if she wasn't there, because she wasn't there. But I tried to contact them online and everything. Well, anyway, I get there because my tent is on the outside is like in the entryway, and just dumped. Call 911, to help me with it. And the guy who showed up was a sheriff from McLeod County. So the people who just did this thing to this guy, there was 2 sheriffs from McLeod County and 3 cops from Hutchinson. So it was a campground near Hutchinson. So I called them, and he came, and he accused me of not wanting to pay. Then he told me I had to get out and take myself. I had no car. I was waiting for family to pick me up the next day. He was insisting that I get out. So, me in an attempt to run away. So you see this. I had quite severe damage to my face. Trying to get away from him. I went around to the back side of the building and just fell and hurt myself really bad. And I just had to get away from it. I called 911 again and said, "You got to call this guy off. I mean, he's not rational." And and I mean, I had tried to pay. So trying to tell him that I had tried very hard to get a hold of them and pay. He was mad, and he even threatened to arrest me because he was mad that I was even trying to tell him that. Okay, so now we have an instance where not far from there, a family is trying to get their family member, who's a man who is having a crisis. He's got mental health issues. He's having a crisis. He's in his mid-30s, and he's having a crisis. So they're trying to get they're calling first responders to come and get him to a hospital. 5 able-bodied men come there, and I'm sure they were young and strong enough. And 2 were sheriffs and 3 were police from Hutchinson. So you hear in the report that they tried to tase him twice. He had only a knife. He didn't have a firearm. If someone's not firing at you with a firearm, it's not lawful for them to start shooting him. But they did. They shot him and shot him in the heart. Again, like Potter. They shot him right in the heart and killed him. And what had happened in the process of that is, I guess, that he had managed to slice one of them with his knife. So I'm picturing one of them, like this dude, gets so angry that he manages to do that they just want to kill him. And it should help black people to realize that this guy who died was in his mid-30s. I mean, was white. Who was in his mid-30s was white. To realize that he was white and not black. I mean, just to realize it's not just a problem for black people. Oh God, no, it's just so far gone. It's so far gone. And like here, I was better off not having my car.